This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TVLog, and this time around it's Raw Toonage, brought to us by Disney. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Duel, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday Morning TVLog is probably what I consider to be a very underrated series from the House of Mouse itself, Raw Toonage. This animated series originally premiered on CBS in September of 1992. Now, it's kind of an anthology series of various animated series or zany characters. Now, each week we would get 3 or sometimes or even more animated tunes and what have you per episode. Now, unlike most Saturday morning shows at the time, this only had 12 episodes and not 13 like how some tunes had originally been doing for the last few years. Now then. Now there would be different types of stories featured in here. Now each episode would sometimes have a host and what have you. Sometimes that includes characters from various Disney tunes. Amongst some of them included characters like Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales and Don Carnage from Tailspin. Ludwig von Drake, who has appeared in numerous tunes, as well as I believe he was also on the DuckTales. I could be wrong though, but let's see. Oh yes, and even Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, which actually had its series debut that same year on the same network, as well as Gosling Mallard from Darkwing Duck, which of course was already a hit at the time. Not all episodes had a host, but there would be some. Now, during this, there would be 9 segments for our host and what have you. That also indicated Disney's own Goofy, starring in Goofy's Guide to the Olympics, which was featured in the 6th episode. Now, of course, a lot of people might remember the sports Goofy tunes that were produced long ago. Anyway, now, each episode would start out with a short known as He's Bonkers. Now, of course, 11 shorts were produced, excluding the first short, which was released in theaters a month prior. Now, CBS premiered the show on September 19th, 1992. A month before this, Bonkers had his own short subject in Pedal to the Metal on August 7th of the same year. Now then, now of course, Bonkers is a zany bobcat who, of course, who the following year would go on to have his own show on the Disney Afternoon block in syndication. Now, of course, he's always into some mischief, especially with well, I sort of think it's a way to say love of his life or something like that. Fondier. Anyway, and there would be lots of others characters featured in this. Oh yeah, and there's also Jitters. And of course, there be okay. Now I see what it is. Now, of course, Jitters is a dog. Now, the premise of this show, that Bonkers is either a delivery person or a pro hero, usually assisted by Jitters. Conflict is provided by Bonkers' love of Fondier, so yes, I was right, who mainly reciprocates his love for her. Bonkers also has a strict boss or an archenemy called Grumbles the Grizzly. Jitters, Fawn, and Grumbles also appear in the Bonkers series, which I'll talk about that in a future TV log since that show has been seen on Disney Plus as of recent well since its debut. This series, no. Now each of these shorts were eventually included in 4 special extra compilation episodes of the half-hour series of Bonkers. So anyway, yeah. Another Oh yeah, there was one other character I forgot to mention. Even oh yeah, there was more than just Scrooge McDuck who appeared from Ducktales on this show. Webigail or Webby also appeared on there. I almost forgot. Now, before I get back to the rest of the segments, the idea for Raw Toonage had an unusual genesis. Disney's television animation studio was developing a 65 episode half hour series for their Disney Afternoon blog which was entitled "He's Bonkers, the Bobcat." While like its series that would premiere the following year, the premise was actually similar to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, as the series dealt with the lead character's adventures post-stardom. The actual production of the series was troubled. At some point, someone had the postmodern idea to actually make the cartoons that Bonkers had starred in before becoming a policeman, and the series was born. At the same time, Michael Eisner had purchased the rights to a popular Belgian comic strip known as Marsupilami, which I'll get to that in just a moment. Another segment was the Totally Tasteless video, which was intended as a satire of popular culture. And a whole segment was added to give the program a familiar feel of the World of Disney show. Now, due to the shorter production schedule, the series was on the air before the above mentioned half hour program, thus adding some credibility to the backstory. And the program typically opens with an introduction by a famous character from Disney. And of course, in Goofy's case, he was him in the style of Goof Troop, which that happened to premiere the same year as well, but in syndication before, well, and then later on ABC. Now, they attempt to share some of their expertise with the audience, and the show has a few more of the above mentioned shorts chained in a row, rounding out the half hour. Now, for the totally tasteless video, that they did each show in a different style. They were stories edited by Tom Minton, who would later write Pinky and the Brain at Warner Bros., which would be, of course, be a segment of Animaniacs, which would debut the following year, and then Pinky and the Brain would get their own series later on in '95. Now, the first sequel of this was a parody of movie coming attraction trailers, followed by a spoof of Doogie Howser MD. Other notable shorts involve a badly animated hero, a prehistoric spoof of Magnum PI, an extra chicken frightening ghosts that haunt a family, and a Robin Hood twist in the Jay Ward style tunes. But unfortunately, it didn't have its own spin off series, unfortunately. Well, now let's go ahead and I'll show you the other segment. Now I was gonna say to include this, but well, include it since this was part of it. Marsupilami. Now the show this segment originally started out and then was spun off into its own series the following year. It was based on the popular comic book by Belgian artist Andre Franquin, or Franquin, sorry, which I think this would make it the second time a little bit of something that would appear in comics in Belgium to appear in American form. Of course, the other being the Smurfs. Now, the segment, of course, deals with the adventures of the titular character and his friends Maurice the Gorilla and Stuart the Elephant. Some episodes of the series would have him either evading Eduardo the Jaguar or outwitting a human named Norman. Many one-off characters also appears in the series, like three baby monkeys and their clown owner, Norman's Aunt Betty. Let's see. It was Leonardo the Lion and Cropsy, a myth that proved to be real. Now, of course, that character appeared in numerous segments. When he got his own series on September 18th the following year on CBS, he would actually have his series. And like Raw Toonage, that would have two segments as well. First, of course, we have anime segments with everyone's favorite crab who sings Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid, Sebastian, who is once again voiced by the same actor who voiced him, Samuel E. Wright. Now, of course, it's a segment that takes place in various locations out of the sea after the end of the events of The Little Mermaid. Of course, Ariel has become human, married Prince Eric, etc., etc., etc. So, apparently, Flounder and Skull have moved on with their lives now. That Ariel is now living away on land. Sebastian has some new adventures, with some of them having him outwit Chef Louis, of course, like before, once again voiced by the same guy who voiced him in the movie, the late great Rene Auberjonois. And the events in this segment seem to show that both characters moved away from the coastal area where the film took place. Even though they both returned in the second film, though deliberate anachronisms were made as modern day locations and objects are seen throughout the segment for the sake of comedy. And another segment was Schnookums and Meat, who, after a couple of years later, after the series premiere, would get their own series on the Disney Afternoon blog. Now, of course, this involves Schnookums, a cat, and Meat, the dog, who did not get along very well. Their owners are unseen stock characters only viewed from the neck down and named appropriately enough husband and wife. Husband is always referring to their home as their domicile before the two leave their pets in charge while they are away. Yes. Now, of course, the Marsupilami series lasted 13 episodes and ended in 1994. So, anyway, now I did see Raw Toonage, though. I couldn't see the Marsupilami show, though, because unfortunately, our CBS affiliate eventually forced the morning news to their local morning news to come on in the 7 o'clock Central Time hour, which that was our time. So eventually, that forced this show, along with The Little Mermaid, which had also already had been shown since its debut, even before the morning news was added. It was tough to try and get one of the other CBS affiliate from my state to get in. But anyway, Raw Toonage, I think, is easily probably one of the most underrated and probably forgotten tunes of the Disney animation era. Be right back. Sorry. Now, of course, Raw Toonage and the Marsupilami cartoons would later get shown on the Disney Channel and Toon Disney. Unfortunately, neither show is available on Disney Plus, I think for certain reasons, though. However, the Bonkers series is on there. But the Marsupilami Raw Toonage cartoons, nope. Nor is the Schnookums and Me funny cartoon show, which I'll talk about that in the future vid. Are there either. Now, for our main voice acting cast, we have Jim Cummings, who's certainly no stranger to doing Disney stuff since he recently did Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and many others. Voices Bonkers. He does Maurice, Norman, Leonardo, and of course Don Carnage once again. Steve McCall is the voice of Marsupilami. Jeff Bennett, who would later go on to do voice acting in numerous Warner Bros. Tunes, would voice Jitters. And Roger Bumpus voices Grumbles. Of course, this was long before he voiced old Squidward on SpongeBob SquarePants. And Fondier was voiced by Nancy Cartwright, who, of course, was at the time known for voicing a certain Bart Simpson. Among some of the other voice actors, there include Rene Auberjonois, Corey Burton, Christine Cavanaugh, Bill Farmer, who once again voiced Goofy, and of course, Christine Cavanaugh once again voiced Gosalyn. It was Frank Welker, Terry McGovern, Rusty Taylor, Samuel E. Wright, as I've mentioned, and of course, Alan Young once again voiced Scrooge. So, anyway, I am going to say that this series is just pretty underrated and pretty funny. Now, for other voices in the Marsupilami cartoon, there was Steve Landsberg voicing Eduardo the Jaguar. And let's see here. And Dan Castellaneta, who, of course, voicing Homer Simpson. And of course, he recently voiced Megavolt on Darkwing Duck, voiced Stuart the Elephant. Now, and for in the Snook of the Me cartoon on Marsupilami, there was Steve Mackall, who voiced Marsupilami, also voiced Husband, and Tress MacNeille, who also worked on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, as well as Tiny Two Adventures, voiced Wife. Snookums and Me, well, Snookums was voiced by Jason Marsden, and voice guy Frank Welker voiced Meat. Now, I have seen a little bit of that show as well, but again, I'll talk about that in the future, Saturday. Well, not Saturday morning TVLog, because that was shown on usually that was shown on Fridays. Whoops. Now, and this is easily a very hard to find series to watch, though. Unfortunately, if you really want to find Raw Toonage, well, it's tough to, like I said, it's tough to find. You can find some segments here on YouTube and clips as well. But the only way you could probably see the series is through the Internet Archive. That's the only place I know of you can find full episodes. Despite this series is not available on Disney Plus, unfortunately. But yeah. Now, same thing with the Marsupilami series, probably. No, wait. There, I do see there is actually something, but I think it's from a different studio because you realize, of course, that Marsupilami wasn't really completely from Disney and what have you, but it was produced by a different well, along with a different company when it was on Raw Toonage because it was Marsup Productions who worked on that along with Disney. So now you know about Raw Toonage. I think you'll enjoy this if you want to check out a really funny anthology toon series. So give it a watch. One moment, please. Okay, again, sorry about that. I had to do something. But again, I think you'll enjoy Raw Toonage. Best of luck in finding it, though, okay? Same name with the Marsupilami toon. I think it could be the actual series from Disney, but I do know there's a Marsupilami YouTube channel. I can't guarantee that it's not the actual cartoon series that CBS showed, but it could be from a different company, though. Just see. Find out for yourself, okay? I humbly apologize for that. So, what did you think of Raw Toonage or the Marsupilami series? Tell me what you thought about either of these series or both of these series. Leave a comment for me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Give them to know me. May they like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends that you like. And we will have another video coming up soon. I'm not sure yet. Stay tuned. So if you like this, check out these Saturday Morning TV logs for that feature characters from the shows I had talked about that appeared on both or either shows. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TV log on the Little Mermaid cartoon from Disney. In the upper right-hand corner is the TV log on DuckTales. Or check out last week's Saturday Morning TV log in the underrated Zazu. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TV Log. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TV Log is Saban's Adventures of Oliver Twist. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.